Tonight, I remember the moment everything changed. I was in line at the grocery store holding a basket of frozen lasagna in lavender-scented trash bags when my phone buzzed. I glanced down and saw her name, Sabrina, my fiancée, the woman I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. I smiled, expecting a text about dinner plans or the guest list, but instead I got 8 words that hit harder than anything I've ever felt. Wedding's off, expect a call from my lawyer. No explanation, no apology. Not even a question mark, just a period at the end of my relationship. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I paid for my groceries, drove home and sat in my car for 15 minutes in absolute silence. The only reply I sent her, as you wish, because in that moment I realized something. She thought she held all the power she didn't, and I was about to prove it. If you've ever been blindsided by someone you trusted, what would you have done? Would you have begged them to stay? Or would you have stood up quietly and flipped the script? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. This story doesn't end here. My name is Daniel Fischer. I'm 35 years old, a software engineer based just outside Seattle. And up until 2 weeks ago, I was engaged to a woman I believed was the love of my life, Sabrina Holden. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, one of those rooftop mixers where everyone's pretending not to network. She stood out immediately, confident, sharp-witted, and completely in control of every room she entered. She worked in public relations, ran media campaigns for local tech firms, and had a social calendar packed 6 months in advance. I was the quiet one, the guy who preferred code to cocktails, but somehow she noticed me. We clicked fast. She called it fate. I called it surreal. 6 months in, we moved in together. A year later, she proposed something even bigger: marriage. I didn't hesitate. It wasn't just the love. I genuinely believed we were building a future together. I turned down a job offer in Chicago, one that would have doubled my salary, because she wanted to stay close to her family, her parents, her friends, her comfort zone. I adjusted, I compromised. And when she found the townhouse in a new upscale development outside the city, I let her lead. It was her dream place. 2 bedrooms, open floor, planned high ceilings, and the perfect space for her future home office. We weren't married yet, but we'd already started the mortgage application together. I handled the paperwork. She picked the furniture in her head. She even told her friends the place was basically ours. I believed her. We opened a joint savings account to set aside money for wedding expenses. I contributed the majority, $10,000 from a recent work bonus. Sabrina, for all her career success, liked to keep her accounts separate, just in case, she said once, laughing like it was a joke. Looking back, I should have asked more questions, but when you're in love, you trust. You assume the person beside you is walking the same path, chasing the same life. I never imagined that a single text could wipe all that away. I didn't see it coming, not even a hint. No late-night arguments. No distance I could explain. Just silence, then dismissal. And while I sat in that grocery store parking lot, gripping the steering wheel, like it might steady my world, one thing became painfully clear. She didn't just want out of the relationship, she wanted control. That's why she used a lawyer. That's why she didn't call me herself. She thought I'd break, that I'd crumble and beg. But she underestimated the man she was walking away from. Because what she didn't know is that I had already started noticing cracks in the picture-perfect life she painted, and I wasn't going to go quietly. The night she sent that text, I didn't go inside right away. I sat in my car, frozen, trying to process how something so big, something that had taken 2 years to build, could be ended by a message that took 5 seconds to type. I wasn't angry. Not yet. Just hollow. But I knew one thing for sure. If Sabrina wanted to go through lawyers, so be it. We weren't married yet. No contracts, no vows, nothing legally binding except for the mortgage. We hadn't signed final papers, but the bank had our preliminary application. We were set to close in a few weeks. She didn't know I could cancel everything from my laptop, but I did. I walked into the house we were renting, our temporary space, and before I even took off my coat, I logged into the bank portal. 3 clicks later, I withdrew my name from the mortgage. Just like that, the entire deal collapsed. And you know what? It felt quiet, not satisfying, not dramatic. Just final. I figured that was the end of it, but I was wrong. Less than 48 hours later, while I was eating reheated lasagna on the couch, I got a voicemail, Mr. Fischer. This is Amanda Weiss, attorney for Miss Sabrina Holden. We urgently request a call regarding your mortgage withdrawal. This action may constitute breach of agreement or financial interference. Urgently request. Now they were desperate. I didn't call back. Instead, I waited, and the messages kept coming. Emails, missed calls, follow-ups labeled time-sensitive. They were scrambling. The tone had shifted from cold and confident to frantic. Sabrina hadn't planned for this. She thought I'd be heartbroken, maybe even begging to talk. But I wasn't. I was done. Then Lauren called one of our mutual friends. She sounded uneasy. Hey, did you really pull out of the house deal? Yep, I said. There was a pause. Okay, because Sabrina's freaking out. She already ordered furniture, told her parents the guest room would be ready by June. I almost said, not my problem, but I held my tongue. I didn't want to look cruel, even though deep down I felt like I finally had the upper hand. Then Lauren hesitated before adding something else. She said, you're doing this to punish her? That it's vindictive. I laughed out loud. Punish her? No, I wasn't interested in revenge. Not then, I was just done playing the fool. But what she didn't know, what no one knew yet, was that I'd already started seeing signs weeks before she ended things. Late-night texts from unknown numbers, work dinners that popped up last minute, conversations behind closed doors that stopped the moment I walked in. I noticed I just didn't want to believe it, but now with her mask finally off, I had nothing left to lose. No wedding, no house, no shared finances. Only one thing remained: silence. And in that silence, I decided to stop reacting. I'd stop explaining myself to people who didn't ask questions before siding with her. Let them wonder. Let her squirm. Because I had the receipts and I had time. And if Sabrina wanted to turn our relationship into a legal war zone, she had no idea who she was dealing with. The first real crack in her story didn't come from a lawyer or a voicemail. It came from a DM out of nowhere. I got a message on Instagram from Eric, Sabrina's cousin. We weren't close, just beer at holiday dinners close. But his message was short and loaded. Hey man, sorry about everything. You dodged a bullet. Ask her about Spencer. Spencer. At first I didn't even react. It was a common name. I'd met a few Spencers at her work functions, maybe some at those insufferable wine tastings she loved. But something about Eric's tone, the way he said dodged a bullet, it stuck with me. So I did what any half-rational, half-suspicious man would do. At 2 in the morning, I went digging. Her Instagram was mostly locked down, private, scrubbed clean. But the tagged photos, those told a different story. There was one picture from a friend's engagement party a few weeks ago. Same weekend, Sabrina told me she was sick and staying in. She wasn't in the photo, but Spencer was, and his arm was wrapped around her waist like he'd been there for a while. They looked close, comfortable, intimate. I stared at that photo for a long time. While I was microwaving soup and picking backsplash tiles for our dream home, she was lying to my face and snuggling up to someone else behind my back. The last thread of heartbreak snapped right then. What came next wasn't sadness, it was clarity. I didn't want her back. I wanted distance, clean cuts, no fingerprints. So I made a list. First, I contacted the mortgage company again to confirm my withdrawal was final. I forwarded them her breakup message just in case. They confirmed it off the record. They'd already been contacted by her lawyer, twice too late. Then I made another call, one I'd been avoiding. Elliot, my old college roommate. Now a real estate attorney in Chicago, he'd offered me a job last year, a good one. I turned it down to stay near Sabrina's family. This time I didn't hesitate. Still hiring? I asked his response. Took you long enough, we set a call for Monday. Still not a word from Sabrina, not a text, not an email, not even a fake apology. That was her style, never confront directly, always through layers. Lawyers, friends, pressure. But I wasn't playing her game anymore. And just when I thought things were cooling down, Sunday morning hit like a bomb. I woke up to 32 missed notifications, texts, emails, calls, not from Sabrina, from my bank. Apparently, someone had tried to access our joint savings account, the one we opened strictly for wedding expenses. 10 grand of mine was sitting there. Someone attempted to transfer all of it into a private account under her name. The bank flagged it. Suspicious activity. They froze the transaction, and as I sat there on hold with customer service, trying to untangle what the hell just happened, I got an email from Amanda Weiss, subject urgent, wedding funds. It read, "My client, Miss Sabrina Holden, is concerned about the joint savings account. As she has contributed to this account, she is requesting the return of her portion." I almost laughed. She hadn't put a single cent in. Not one. I had every receipt, every bank statement. Sabrina always said she wanted to keep her money flexible. Now she wanted to rob me blind and call it even. I didn't respond. Instead, I picked up the phone and called Elliot again. I told him everything. He paused, then said, "You've got a paper trail. Then you're fine. But I'll tell you something, man. If she's willing to try this, she's not done." And he was right. Because that night I got a voicemail from her, shaky, emotional, like she wanted to sound broken. "Hey, I didn't want it to be like this. I panicked. Things got complicated. Please don't think I was trying to hurt you." I played it twice, then deleted it. No reply, because once someone tries to gut you with a smile, you don't hand them another knife. You walk away and you don't look back. After I deleted Sabrina's voicemail, I sat in the dark for a long time, not thinking, just breathing, because that's what clarity feels like. It's not loud. It's not angry, it's cold, steady focused, and I had a plan. First, I called the bank to make sure the freeze on the savings account stayed in place. Then I requested a full statement line by line with deposit history. Every transaction linked to my name. They emailed it over the next morning, 68 entries. All mine. I printed them out and put them in a folder marked leverage. Then I emailed Elliot and asked for a family and financial law referral in Seattle. He sent me a name immediately, Sherlevin. She was exactly what I needed. Sharp, unflinching, and calm in a way that made even me sit straighter. During the consult, I laid everything out for her. The mortgage, the savings account, the suspected infidelity, the voicemail, the forged attempt at transfer. She didn't blink once. Her first suggestion: we take control of the narrative. Send a formal response to Sabrina's attorney. She said deny financial obligation. Challenge her claim to shared funds, and she looked at me carefully. "Do you believe she's pregnant?" I hesitated, then I told her about Lauren's call, about the sudden announcement, the math that didn't add up. Sure nodded. "Then we deny paternity immediately, until a DNA test is done." She had the letter drafted within the hour. In legal terms, it said 3 things. I would not be contributing financially or emotionally to any pregnancy without verified biological proof. Any attempts to portray me as abusive or uncooperative would be considered defamation. And finally, any further access to joint funds or property would be met with immediate legal countersuit. She even added a clause demanding Sabrina disclose all financial assets and contributions related to the failed mortgage. It was clean, cold, and airtight. We sent it within 2 hours. Cher's office line lit up. Amanda Weiss. Sabrina's lawyer was calling back. "Miss Holden feels blindsided. She said she believed this could be handled privately." Cher didn't flinch. She made it public the moment she involved legal counsel and tried to access our client's funds. Silence. Then came the shift. Amanda's tone softened. "She's going through a lot. We'd prefer to resolve this quickly." I bet they would, but I wasn't interested in quick. I was interested in done. That night I sat on my couch, stared at the ceiling, and thought about how far this had spiraled. From a text, to lawyers, to financial fraud, and now what, a fake pregnancy, or worse, a real one that wasn't mine. I didn't sleep much because deep down I knew what was coming next and I needed to get ahead of it. So the next morning I went on the offensive. I met with Cher in person and handed her everything: bank records, voicemails, screenshots, even a printed copy of Spencer's name from the tagged Instagram photo. Then I took it a step further. I contacted a licensed paternity testing lab and opened a file in advance just in case Sabrina actually tried to file for parental rights or support. Cher said I was thinking like a man in control. "Most people panic here." She said, "You didn't." I told her I was done reacting. Now, I was documenting by Monday morning, I'd sign my new job offer with Elliot's firm Remote Work to start relocation package if I chose to move. I was officially leaving Seattle, leaving her. But Sabrina wasn't done Tuesday morning. Cher received a new letter from Amanda. This one was different, threatening legal action for financial abandonment and emotional distress. And more chilling. My client is considering filing for parental rights and wishes to notify Mr. Fischer of his presumed responsibilities. Presumed, that word hit like a punch to the gut. They were trying to corner me, rush me into a mistake, but I'd already seen too much, so I made one more move. Cher filed a protective counter-brief, legal preemptive defense in case Sabrina fabricated abuse claims or false narratives to influence a court. At the same time, we drafted a cease and desist warning for any attempt to present me publicly or privately as neglectful, violent, or financially manipulative. I wasn't just protecting myself, I was building a wall. One no lie could climb, because Sabrina thought she could control me. But the truth, she didn't even know who I really was. Not anymore. I thought we'd reached the peak. But I was wrong, because the next thing Sabrina tried made everything before it looked like a warm-up. It was Wednesday morning when Lauren called again. Her voice was trembling. "You should know something," she said. "Sabrina's telling everyone she's pregnant. I didn't say anything." Then she added, almost whispering, "She's also saying it's yours." That stopped me cold. I just sat there staring out the window, my mind racing. "How far along?" I asked, my voice flat. 8 weeks, Lauren replied. 8 weeks, that was a problem. Because 8 weeks ago, Sabrina was on a cleanse, a body reset. She called it no intimacy, no touching, no nothing. She said she wanted to feel pure for the honeymoon. That was the last time we were even in the same bed. 9 weeks ago, maybe. And even then, we barely kissed, which meant there was a very real possibility the baby wasn't mine. But that didn't matter to her. She didn't need truth. She needed leverage. And now she had the ultimate weapon, a possible pregnancy with a disputed timeline, and a man she was already trying to drag through court. Cher acted fast. We sent a formal declaration to Amanda. I denied paternity until DNA proof was established. I refused all financial responsibility until that confirmation. Any further attempts to access funds or claim fatherhood would be treated as malicious intent. Amanda responded within hours. More deflection, more emotional spin. Sabrina is hurt. She wants resolution. Of course she did. Resolution meant control, but she wasn't getting it. And then came the twist I didn't expect. A message popped up in my Facebook inbox from a blank account. No profile picture, no details, just a name. Spencer, 2 words, "we should talk." I stared at it, then replied, "Talk?" What he sent next made my blood boil. "She told me you guys had already broken up, that the wedding was off months ago. That you were just helping with the house out of guilt," I replied. "We were engaged until the day she texted me." That day, silence. Then she said you hit her. I froze. What? Yeah, said you had anger issues, that you'd broken things, yelled, that she was scared of you. My hands started shaking because I'd never once laid a hand on her. Never raised my voice in a threatening way. We had arguments, sure, usually about how she prioritized everyone else before me. But physical violence, never. I typed, "Do you believe that he waited a long time before responding?" No, not anymore. The next morning, Cher filed a protective counter-brief, preemptive legal documentation to combat false abuse allegations. Because now this wasn't just about money, it was about character. And Sabrina was trying to destroy mine. Then on Friday, it all exploded. I got an email from the mortgage lender. A personal one, not an automated update. Sabrina had attempted to resubmit the loan application, this time without me, and forged my digital signature. They flagged it immediately fraud. The bank had already reported it to authorities I forwarded everything to. Sure, 10 minutes later, she called. Her voice was tight. "This crosses into criminal territory. We can take this to the prosecutor." I said nothing for a long time. Then finally, I just wanted to stop. But Sabrina wasn't stopping. That same night, Lauren called me again. This time, she was nearly in tears. "You're not going to believe this," she said. "Sabrina just posted that she miscarried." My stomach dropped. What she said, she lost the baby right after the breakup. People are flooding her page with sympathy. Condolences, she's painting you as the guy who abandoned her at the worst possible time. I sat there in disbelief. Was it a lie, or did she actually lose a child I never fathered? Either way, it didn't matter, because now she wasn't just manipulating lawyers. She was manipulating everyone, friends, family, the internet, twisting herself into the victim. And me, I stayed silent, because if I'd learned anything over the past month, it was this: let people talk, let the storm rage. But when the truth is on your side, you don't have to scream, you just have to stand. The storm didn't stop. But I did. I stopped replying, stopped checking her social media, stopped asking mutual friends for updates because there was nothing left I needed to know. Cher kept handling everything, calm, surgical, efficient, and one day, just like that, the calls stopped. No more emails, no more threats, no more carefully worded apologies from Amanda Weiss. Only silence. A few weeks later, my phone rang again. I recognized the number before I even answered. It was Sabrina's father. His voice was different this time. No pride, no pressure, just tired honesty. "I need to apologize," he said. "We believed her. We believed all of it. I should have known. He told me everything. How she'd been seeing Spencer for months behind my back. How she lied about the pregnancy. How she borrowed money from her parents to keep up the charade. How she never planned to marry me, only to use me to secure the house, the lifestyle, the image. She's not well," he said. "We're getting her help. I just wanted you to hear it from me." I didn't say much, because what do you say when the final mask comes off, when the person you once loved was never really real? That's what hurt the most, not the betrayal, not the lies, but the fact that I wasted years trying to prove I was good enough for someone who never existed. So I let it go. I blocked her number, deleted every picture, every text. I moved forward. A year later, I bought a house, a small one. Mine alone, no shared names, no hidden agendas, just peace. And if you're listening to this, if you've ever been manipulated, discarded, or rewritten by someone who called it love, let me say this: you are not what they tried to reduce you to. You are not the version they sold to others when they couldn't control you. You are not broken. You are becoming. And the moment you stop begging for clarity from someone who profits off your confusion, that's the moment you take your power back. I did, and I'll never give it away again.